Well, one of the issues that did come up at the debate, we were all wondering whether it would or not, was the former vice president's business dealings overseas. Here's a portion of what the moderator asked and the vice president's answer, and we'll get your response.
There have been questions about the work your son has done in China and for a Ukrainian energy company when you were vice president. In retrospect, was anything about those relationships inappropriate or unethical?
Nothing was unethical. Here's what the deal. With regard to Ukraine, we had this whole question about whether or not, because he was on the board, I later learned of a Burisma, a company, that somehow I had done something wrong. Yet every single solitary person, when he was going through his impeachment, testifying under oath who worked for him, said, I did my job impeccably. I carried out U.S. policy. Not one single solitary thing was out of line. Not a single thing.
What's your response? How will voters read his answer and try to pivot toward Trump?
Well, my response is Joe Biden is lying to the American people. I was the member of Congress that asked every single witness in the impeachment hearings whether there was a conflict of interest or at least an appearance of a conflict of interest because of Hunter Biden serving on the board of Burisma. And every single witness said, yes, there was a conflict of interest or the appearance of a conflict of interest, to the point where even Ambassador Yovanovitch, former ambassador to the Ukraine, she was being prepared by the Obama administration for her Senate nomination. The Obama administration proactively brought this up as a conflict of interest. So this is a Joe Biden running from his record and trying to wipe away this very clear conflict of interest. This is not just a Hunter Biden scandal. This is a Joe Biden scandal. And it's not just Burisma. It's also now Chinese Communist government and the Chinese Communist Party. The American people deserve answers, and no amount of censorship from big tech should take away from the fact that Joe Biden needs to answer these questions for the American people.
Congresswoman, I think everyone is ready for this economy to get back to some normalcy. I think most would like to see our economies reopened, and many need help along the way when it comes to a COVID stimulus bill. So the question is, what is holding up a COVID relief fund? President Trump and Steve Mnuchin are saying the ball is in Nancy Pelosi's court, and she is the one holding it up. In fact, I'd like you to listen to what the president is saying about what Nancy Pelosi is trying to accomplish that might be holding up this relief bill. Listen.
The Speaker on a number of issues is still dug in. If she wants to compromise, there will be a deal. But we've made lots of progress in lots of areas, but there's still some significant differences that we're working.
She wants to bail out poorly run Democrat states. They're poorly run, both in terms of crime and in terms of economics. And we just don't want that.
So, Congresswoman, is that what's holding up this bill, Pelosi's desire to funnel the money to Democratic states?
I think there's a number of reasons why Nancy Pelosi is holding up the bill. She has walked away from negotiations time and time again for months and months. The bill that she's put on the House floor, the Heroes 1 and Heroes 2, it includes partisan provisions like stimulus payments to illegal immigrants, releasing violent criminals into our streets. When it comes to state and local aid, there is a way to make it targeted towards COVID relief. But I agree with the president that you shouldn't be bailing out states that have been fiscally mismanaged prior to COVID. They do need additional COVID relief, but not what Nancy Pelosi wants. And this administration and President Trump, they have negotiated, they have gone back to the table, and she has walked away. But I think it's also the stark contrast, not just between Nancy Pelosi and the president, but Joe Biden and the president. Joe Biden talked about a dark winter. That is ominous. That is not what the American people want to hear. President Trump talked about the importance of safely reopening. That is what the American people are looking for, whether they're small businesses or whether they're kids safely learning in school. So I think this is a stark contrast, and I think it's one of the reasons why voters are going to break towards President Trump as we head to Election Day.
That's right. Congresswoman Elise Stefanik here on Fox and Friends. Thanks for your time this morning.
Thank you.